Hello Divine Feminine and welcome to your power message for Thursday. My name's Liz and this is Guided by Angels. And we're going to bring in some beautiful decks of cards today. We're going to bring in the Archangel Animal Oracle by Diana Cooper. This is a really powerful deck. I love how on the guidebook you've got the eagle and the stag. And you've also got the wolf, which is about the telepathic communication, the way you connect as well. And we've got the throat chakra healing. And I love this deck because, you know, with the guidebook, it kind of shows you already the masculine is becoming the eagle. And that means that they are transforming. They're giving you that promise of union to come home. Very powerful. I'm also going to bring in a gorgeous deck that I actually picked up while I was in London. And I forgot about this deck. I have used it before, but I found it today. It's the Folktales Oracle. Love this one. So we're going to bring this one in too. And again, I love that we've got the horse on the back of the cards here. You've got the spirit horse as well, reminding you that you are loved from above, never alone, and always guided. And I'm going to bring in a really powerful tarot deck. This is a witchy tarot. I'm going to bring this in as well. I think this could be the Good Witch Tarot. I'll have a look what this is. But we're going to begin with Meet the Angels. This is my deck. Now, when I'm doing personal readings right now, this is how I like to begin the readings because I like to see which angel or ascended master or guide is around you. And when I'm live in London next year in May 2024, you can all buy tickets right now for that if you want to come and see me at that event. In the morning, we're going to work with this deck and we're going to call the angels and it's going to be very powerful. But I'm going to see right now which angel is around or which ascended master is around the feminine and why. I'm also going to bring this deck in today for the masculine too. And remember, you know, if you do want a personal reading with me, you can reach out to me at guidedbyangelsxo@gmail.com and I'll give you all the information. And if you do want to look at tickets for my event that's live next year, just click on the link in the description box below. So thank you, angels, who's around us today, straight out there. I'm going to shuffle all the cards first. So what do we need to know today as a Divine Feminine? And then I'm going to bring in after the guidance book and, you know, see what the angels want us to know. Thank you, angels. What's the energy today? What's the energy around the Divine Feminines? Straight out, very clear cards coming out today. And there's one sticking out as well. And the Archangel Animal deck. I love this deck. So I don't really connect with all of the archangels in this deck, but I always get given the alternative angel to call on. Jump straight out. Wow, I'm going to start with this card because it jumped on the camera and it fell out this way. Look at this, we've got dolphin. Dolphin. Now, dolphins are powerful because they represent playful energy, simplicity, and raising our vibration to a higher state. And dolphins are very evolved beings. You know, dolphins at some point will become extinct because, you know, they've kind of reached the end of their mission on planet Earth. You know, they've come here for a reason. Just like how people may look at dragons or unicorns in legends, one day dolphins will be a legend. And because of their high vibration, you know, they're here to serve. They're here to help and lift up the vibration of humanity. And really that's what we're here to do as light workers. Because yes, you're a twin flame, but predominantly you are a light worker. You know, you're here to help, to share love and light with the world. And really that was what yesterday's reading was all about. You know, we spoke about that in detail. And the dolphin is coming through reminding you to have fun on this journey, to be playful, to embrace who you are and where you are and live in the now. And if it feels hard to you or if you feel tired or depleted, it's always a sign to go within. It's always a sign to give back to yourself, to focus on joy. And that's the message of the dolphin. Focus on joy. Live joyfully in the present. And remember, whenever we're stressed out or anxious, we're dealing with fear, we're dealing with ego, we're dealing with the mind. And we can move past the mind with our vibration. So if we're worrying or struggling, we're going over the past that can't be changed. We're worrying about the future that hasn't yet occurred. In the present moment, we are completely loved, completely safe, and completely supported. And when we connect with the now, we feel at ease. So all that stress and anxiety and struggle, it falls away. You know, it dissipates. And the dolphin is coming through to remind you of that today. And I love how we've got the pair of dolphins on the left as well, symbolising the masculine and the feminine there. But the light coming down from heaven that's really shooting into this dolphin is the light from above. Because when we live in the moment joyfully and we focus on gratitude, we raise our vibration, we feel at peace, we feel connected with Source. And I know you've had moments of bliss like that. I know that I have, where you've felt so in tune with the universe, it blows your mind. It blows your mind because you feel it, you know you're supported. And for that moment, everything makes sense. And I feel there's moments of clarity coming to you today when things are making more sense. You know, one of our soul sisters actually asked me in the comments section how long it took me to come into inner union. And I really spoke in the comments about, you know, obviously I have a video for members. So it's available for all members right now. If you're a member of the channel or you want to become one, you can watch my journey to my union. There's a lot of information in there. It's very powerful and personal. That's why it's for members, but you all have access to that if you want it. You know, as the journey for me really was, my big awakening came in 2010. So I was on a journey of awakening way before then. But I would say between 2010 and 2019 was a journey of me coming into my own inner union and going through the lessons to get there. And I would say that I completely stepped into inner union in 2019. And that was the year that me and George came into permanent physical union. So it happens very quickly when you finally do surrender and let go. When you know you've healed all the insecurities and fears, when things that triggered you no longer do. And you're operating most of the time in that power where you're connected with Source and you're feeling all the blessings. And it makes you feel alive. And you feel everything so powerfully. And you are a sensitive healer. You feel things powerfully. You know, this morning before I started doing these videos, you know, I was having my breakfast, my morning routine. And I'm going to see Depeche Mode, my favourite band, in Twickenham in London in June. And I'm so excited about that. And, you know, things keep popping on my YouTube feed about Depeche Mode and, you know, about the concerts they're doing right now all over the world. And a random YouTuber kind of popped up on my feed and, you know, she's got lots and lots of subscribers, so that's probably why it came up. But she was doing a reaction video to Enjoy the Silence live. And, oh my goodness me, I got so emotional seeing a reaction. You know, because she got emotional herself, she was loving it. She'd never really heard or, you know, listened to any Depeche Mode before. And she was loving how Dave was dancing around the stage and connecting with the audience. And she was feeling it all. And I felt it too. And I had tears in my eyes. Because I was feeling the emotion that she feels. And that's a gift. That's a gift of sensitivity. And you don't have to be in the same room as the person or know the person to feel that. You just feel the energy. Because you're connected with Source. And you have those experiences a lot of the time. And you may not realise or recognise what it is, but that's your gift. That's your gift as a spiritual being, as a divine feminine, as a light worker. And sometimes we feel that that gift can be a vulnerability or a weakness because we feel so emotional. And we think, if only I had a thicker skin, or if only it didn't make me feel that way. But it makes you feel that way because it proves to you that you're alive. It really is a gift. It's a strength. It's not weakness or vulnerability. It's power. And that's what the dolphin is bringing to you today, power. Saying to you, when you live joyfully in the present moment, everything makes sense. Everything starts to fall into place. And you remember who you are. So there's power coming to you today. And look at the kind of forehead or the top of the head of the dolphin here with this star, because this is the crown of the dolphin. So I feel you're receiving downloads and tingles and angel bumps in your crown. You know, whenever something feels off to me, you know, like something doesn't resonate with me or something, you know, affects me in some way, I get a feeling of, you know, and there's a siren coming down the street here as well, which is really interesting as I'm talking about this. Yeah, siren there. That's an ambulance going through there. So whenever something doesn't resonate with us, or we feel something's coming, or we get downloads of information, and I get tingles in my crown chakra. Sometimes the good tingles, sometimes the tingles that don't feel so good to me, because it's like a feeling of dread coming in, and they give me fear. So it's the fear. You know, it's how we are shown things. So we have receptors on our body, and those receptors are hairs. You know, we have hairs all over a body. It doesn't matter if you shave or not, you know, you have hairs, and those hairs are receptors. So they react to the environment and things that are going on. That's why your hair can stand on end when you feel scared or if you're in shock, because your body is reacting. And it's the same how your spiritual senses, your clear awareness, your chakras really stand to attention when you're going through something, or when you're becoming aware of something, or observing something, or feeling something. So really this is a journey of feeling. And we go through the process of the growth and the sorrow and the good and the bad and the highs and the lows, because we learn to appreciate it all, because it's all showing us in every moment and proving to us that we're alive. And that's why we've come. So allow yourself to feel everything, observe everything, and be in the now. And if you do go into fear or triggers, don't feel bad about it or beat yourself up over it. Just choose better thoughts. Remember that happiness is always an inside job. It's a choice that we have every day to choose peace, to choose to feel at ease. You know, it's nobody's job to make us happy. It's our job to make us happy. Like it's not your job to make anyone else happy. We enhance other people's lives and they enhance ours. You know, if you're in a bad mood, nothing anybody does or gives to you can make you feel better until you choose to feel better. And when we understand that, it's liberating. And you may receive that awakening aha moment today, that epiphany, that realization, because maybe you're looking for your twin to come into your life or come back into your life to make you feel good. And you don't need that to happen to feel good. You can choose to feel good now. And it's the feeling good now that's going to manifest the reconciliation. So look at this. You know, who's around you today? The universe. I always have your back. This is why you see the number sequences. The universe communicates with you through universal code, the code of numbers, or the code of signs and synchronicities. But the angels are very clear. You know, the angels are the ones sending you the signs. The universe is the one sending you the numbers. And you may feel it's all the same. So this is saying to you, you are connected. Look at this. We've got spirit of the land. You are connected to the spirit of the land. You're connected with the universe. The universe always has your back. And that means everything is always working for you. It's working for you, not against you. Even when you feel like things are going wrong, they're actually always going right. Sometimes the biggest blessings come to us with the hardest lessons attached. And that's how we receive the greatest rewards. And when you're seeing the 222, it's a symbol that you are protected. When you're seeing 444, it's a symbol the angels are with you. You are not alone. And you're always connected with the spirit of the land. So this is always reminding you here to go out in nature. You know, there's nothing more powerful than the land, the earth, outdoors, nature, Mother Gaia. And I'm seeing this as Mother Gaia watching over you. So when you're out in nature, even if it's just 5 minutes, you're breathing in the air, you're connecting with Source. Even now, you know, if I lift the camera up to show you, look at that, blue skies. Blue skies, baby. You know, just sitting here in this room, looking at the sky, makes me feel better. You know, it may be cold out there. You know, they've given cold weather out, but the sun is out. And when the sun is shining, we feel good. Sometimes we have to be our own sunlight because it may be a really dark, cloudy day, or even if it's the sunniest day, you may be going through your own darkness. So it doesn't matter what the sun is doing, we feel depressed or we feel anxious or scared or alone. But we can turn on our heart light that shines brighter than the sun. And that's the power of the divine feminine. You know, you're like the sunlight. You have this radiant power. And when you shine, that means operating in your authentic self, being in the now, being grateful, feeling blessed. Anything is possible for you. And anything can happen at any time because you're operating in that higher light and that higher vibration. So there's lots of power and magic taking place. And you've got the spirit of the land there showing you the animals. So that's why we see animals on this journey. Nature angels connecting with you, coming to you. You know, so the animals you can see is the stag. You know, the stag is the promise of the union. And also to relax and breathe and be flexible and adaptable. And, you know, let me just have a quick look. It is a stag. Okay, I was just saying, is that a deer or a stag? Because the deer is the symbol of the gentleness and kindness and generosity and love, loving heart of the feminine. And the stag is the symbol of the power and the resilience of the masculine. The stag comes to you when you're being shown that your union is coming. When everything is working out, when the masculine is awake and transforming and becoming who he's meant to be. And the stag there, as you can see, is resting. So this journey sometimes takes time, but the best things are worth waiting for. The best things take time. And this is your power. And in the stomach area here, in the solar plexus, where we also receive gut instinct and intuition, you've got the tree, the roots of the tree. And it's reminding you that your gut is connected with source. And that's also connected with your crown chakra. You know. You just know these things. You feel it inside. So trust your gut. That's why people say, trust your gut. They mean trust your gut instinct. Your stomach, your belly, your digestive system is always speaking to you. You know, here as well, you know, I'm not going to look what it actually is, but they showed me this. I don't know if you can see that there. There's a little animal. That's better. You can see it properly now. There's a little animal sticking out of this tree, and that's an owl. Well, that's what I'm seeing it as. It may not be an owl. You may see something different, but that's about wisdom. Wisdom comes to you at the strangest times when you understand things on a deeper level. And you've got, you know, the knowingness with the stag there in the belly. You just know in your heart and soul. It's in your gut. It's in the fibre of your being that this is meant to be. You know, and they've got I'm seeing there as a meerkat there observing. You know, even the badger there is observing, becoming the observer. And I'm seeing the halo as well on this as well, which is the aura, you know, the light you shine out, the fact that you are this earth angel. And, you know, none of us are angels. We've all got past and we've all done things we regret, but we've been forgiven for that. We are higher beings living in this life because we're aware and we're observing and we're coming into our own truth and our own inner union. So we've got the 8 of fire here. And what I'm seeing with this is the road or the pathway to the light, to the sunlight. And I'm seeing this as all the divine feminines gathering together. Now, when I started this channel, Archangel Michael gave me a vision of 4 ships from 4 corners of the world coming together to meet here on Guided by Angels. Divine feminines, light workers, earth angels, divine masculines coming together to feel supported, loved and guided. And I'm so excited, you know, to be able to be doing my first ever live event next year. It may even be my only live event next year, to get everyone together in the same room, because we're all going to come together and feel that power of oneness. And when I'm looking at this card, I'm seeing those monkeys there as the oneness of the collective, knowing that the path ahead, it may be a bit rocky, it may be a bit, you know, kind of bendy and windy, but you'll get truly where you're meant to be. And the 8 of Wands is a powerful energy. It's about movement. It's about travel. It's about things moving ahead, changes, swiftness of action. And we've got the 2 of fire, which is connected with the Kundalini rising energy. Look at that. You've got the snakes entwined. So that's the power of the love. That's the progress that's being made. That's the vision of what's ahead. And that you are entwined. This journey is entwined. You and your masculine are entwined. And that means it doesn't matter what comes at you or challenges or triggers you. That can't be broken because you are entwined. And we've got the 3 of air. And the 3 of air is reminding you that whatever hurts you is helping you because it's growing you. Things are about to take off. I'm seeing this as the end of separation, the end of the pain, things getting much better. You know, things moving forward, power, rising above the situation. And that's what we need to do. You know, whenever we're going through something on this journey that causes pain, that hurts the heart, we have to rise above it and see it in a higher way. That's what the dolphin is asking you to do, to be more observant, to be more playful, joyful, to connect with your own soul, to work on your own self, to work on inner union, releasing and letting go, trusting and having faith, not taking everything personally, remembering that the masculines don't ghost you, they process. So yes, it may seem on the surface like they're ignoring you and they don't care and they've got other things going on, but they are deep in thought. They're processing their feelings for you. They're processing what those feelings mean for their life, if they need to change their life. And that came up yesterday. You know, the masculine's very clearly saying, I want to work on mission because something's missing. Something feels off. And that's because they're not with you and they miss you, but also because they want that sense of satisfaction that they are being guided to help, to work on service, to feel that their life has purpose and meaning. And if that's missing right now, they're feeling that very deeply. So feminines, rise above the surface level stuff and focus on the love, because the love is power. So today, you could definitely see a dolphin, even a pair of dolphins here, as a reminder to connect with source. The universe is going to be speaking to you, so you may have these moments of clarity coming in through the crown chakra, the tingles, you may feel it in your gut instinct. Maybe sirens go off to remind you of that. You may even see the stag as the reminder that your journey is in divine timing and there's no need to fear. You may see monkeys, because monkeys, you know, very mischievous and they do have fun. You know, when you see them, you know, where we live in Stoke-on-Trent, you know, in the UK, we've got a monkey forest in Trentham, it's quite close by, and I've spoke about it before. You know, it's not like a zoo where there's all bars and things like that. It's a very natural land. It's a piece of land, you know, called the monkey forest, where macaque monkeys live freely and live out their lives as if they're in the wild. It's an amazing place. And obviously, yes, people go and look at the monkeys, but they walk straight in front of you. They're not caged in any way. You know, it's a very beautiful place to go. And, you know, when you stand and watch them, they have lots of fun. They're very playful and mischievous, but they also have arguments with each other, and, you know, because they are a community. So as a community of divine feminines, you know, we may have times where we clash or the struggle, but we get through it together. And that's another reason why we are a daily channel here, because you're going to have really great days on this journey. You are. Even if you haven't had any yet, you're going to have days where you feel amazing, you feel alive, you feel like you can do anything, you feel like the universe truly does have your back. And those are the days where you may want to come to the channel and help others and guide the people struggling. You may want to not be on the channel at all because you're feeling so good. You want to go out and live life and have fun. But there's going to be days where you may need a bit of support. You may struggle on that day, or you may just need a helping hand. And we're here for you. You know, the comment section is here for you. We're here for you. So you can watch a reading and feel more uplifted, feel more connected with source, and remember who you are. So you get through those moments quicker. And you'll notice that on this journey, especially if you've been on this channel a while, that, you know, maybe the things that triggered you before or lingered around in your energy no longer linger around as much, because you've learned not only from this channel but from your own self and your journey and the lessons you've gone through, the experiences, how to handle it better, how to raise your vibration more, how to feel more at peace with things, and knowing that whatever you're going through or experiencing, that this too shall pass, and that you have a community of soul family, soul brothers, soul sisters here to help you through those times, the times when you need a helping hand to lift your vibration, especially if you're going through separation or pain, and those moments where you just need a message to know that your masculine is feeling the way you feel. So let's bring in the guidebook and see what we need to know. So the message for this day, wow, it says create or tend to your altar. Now, an altar is a sacred place. I've got one in this room, okay? I've got one in this room. Let me show you, actually. Let me just get this book together so it's not going to fall over here. If I lift up the camera, I'm sorry if it messes up the sound when I'm doing this, but let me show you. If I lift it up, there's my altar just there. And I've got me and Carl Gray on the wall as well. Well, that's my altar there. And, you know, that altar, it's got all the things I love on it. All the things I love. So right in the centre of my altar, it's like a chest, you know. It's actually a chest that, or a dresser. Dresser is probably the better word for it. It's, let me just bring this card out actually so you can focus on the dolphin. There we go, it's beautiful. So, you know, it's a dresser that actually somebody gave to me. And this lady who gave it to me is amazing. You know, she was very spiritual. And she said, I'm moving and I've got this chest. You know, this is years ago, way before George. You know, when I was kind of just starting out, understanding what my journey was all about. And I was really starting to embrace my journey as a light worker. And she said to me, you know, I've got this. And I worked in a shop at the time, and that's where I knew her from. And she said, I've got this dresser, this chest that I can just see you using. She says, I can't move it to the new place I'm going to. I'd like you to have it. And obviously I offered her money for it. She said, no, I've had a vision of you using this chest to, you know, put your cards on or to put your special things on. And I can see it bringing power into your life. And I was so grateful that she offered that to me. And since that moment, it's been my altar. And I've never put cards on there, but it's got 2 pull-out drawers. And any decks of cards I get from our Soul Sisters or any decks of cards I buy from MakePlayingCards.com, which is where all the twin flame style cards are, all the message cards, you know, the cards that I create go on there. Anything that's kind of really important goes in there. So I put in there all my cards. So in the pull-out drawers at the bottom, I store some cards. Obviously, I've got lots and lots of decks of cards, and I'm so grateful for them. You know, the ones I buy myself, the ones that I get gifted from Amazon. Thank you to every one of you who sent me a deck of cards or something amazing from my Amazon wish list. It means more than you know. And I really do love them all. And, you know, I kind of keep them in there. And then on the top, I've got my little kind of ornament statue of Jesus in the garden. You know, well, he's on the mountain, and it's the mount actually when he's giving his Sermon on the Mount. Yep, Sermon on the Mount. And my mum gave that to me, and it was very special to me. It lights up, and that's kind of in the centre of everything. And then I've got angel figures on there, things about gratitude, you know, all kinds of things. And I've got eagles on the top, and I've got tortoises at the bottom, because it symbolises above and below. And, you know, an altar, you may see an altar as a place you go and worship Jesus at in church. Or you could see an altar if you like to connect with the elements and go outdoors. You know, you may class yourself as a white witch. You know, you go outdoors. You may have an altar because of that. So really an altar is somewhere you can either go to or look at or be around that brings in power. You know, whenever I'm really struggling, you know, I will get on my knees and pray to Jesus at my altar and talk to him and connect with him. But just having all my bits and pieces on there brings in some kind of power. And, you know, I've got things around the room, and, you know, George will sometimes come in my room and pick things up. And he says, I just like coming in and looking at your things and touching things, because it's power. And, you know, I remember when I was a little girl and I used to go into my mum and dad's bedroom and she got a drawer on a dressing table, and I would open that drawer and all the jewellery would be in there, and I would spend hours looking through a jewellery and picking it up, and it reminds me of that. So whenever George comes in here and starts picking up my things, it reminds me of me doing that with my mum. So it's a very personal thing, and our altar is a very personal thing. So if you haven't got one yet, this may be a day you want to create one. And if you've got one, maybe you want to give it a dusting or move things around. And, you know, I'm thinking I need to dust mine, really. I haven't done it for a while. So an altar brings in power. So in the book it says it's important to have personal space where you can pray and meditate. So your altar could also be a room in your house, for example, you know, where you like to go and maybe do yoga or meditate or breathe. Somewhere outdoors even. Maybe you've got a special tree that you like to go and sit under. Or you've got something in your own garden. You know, when my mum passed away, we bought a few things with us to this house from her garden. You know, she got a gorgeous sundial that she'd had for like 30 years. and I made sure that I've got that in my garden. It's just very personal to me. And she got a bench, and like an outside bench, and the bench is nothing special, but she would spend hours painting that bench. And I'd used to watch her painting the bench, and that's why it meant something to me. It's so sentimental. So when we move, that bench really is falling to pieces. Still, you can sit on it fine. But, there's plenty of other new benches I could have bought myself. But I wanted that bench, and it's now in our back garden. And whenever I feel that I need to really connect with my mum in that way, I'll go and sit on that bench and go outdoors. And, this is what an altar is. It's a place, a sacred place, or a spot, or somewhere you feel at peace, where you can connect with your guides and your loved ones. It says this doesn't need to be a formal location. So in other words, you don't need to go to church, or you don't need to go to a graveyard to connect. A lot of people think you have to go to the graveyard to remember the loved ones. And I never felt that way. Never. And I remember having conversations with my mum, because she was like, it's a form of respect to go to the grave and put flowers on the grave at special occasions and put a wreath on there at Christmas time and all these things. But I never felt that the person was in a graveyard. I always felt the person was inside me. And that's something I've always carried with me from a little girl. I've always known that, and that's because of my connection with Source. And I remember me and my mum, it used to upset her sometimes that I wouldn't go to the graveyard. And it wasn't I wouldn't go, but for me, I never really understood why we had to go to a grave to remember somebody, because I could remember them anytime I wanted to. And it's the same with your connection with God or Jesus. You don't have to go to a church. Every now and again, it's nice to do that, but we don't need to do that to connect with them. I remember someone saying to me, and I spoke about this the other day, you have to light a specific candle, like a specific colour candle on a specific day to connect with Archangel Michael. And I thought, what absolute hogwash. I can talk to Archangel Michael any moment of the day, anytime I like. And it's all fear. They're giving me fear coming up there, because fear through society and programming and conditioning what people say, like you should do this, you should do that. Always listen to your own intuition, because you know your truth. So you don't need to go to a formal location to, they're giving me fear there, to meditate, even though at times it's nice to do that. Just some place where you feel comfortable and you can close your eyes without distraction. It can even be the corner of a room used for other purposes. Creating an altar in this sacred space will inspire you to meditate. And meditation, remember, isn't just about closing your eyes and breathing and saying Om. It's about feeling at peace. For me, one of my most sacred places is going to a coffee shop. And, I love to have a hot chocolate, as I'm sure you all know, because I share it constantly on YouTube stories when I have one. But, if I'm feeling stressed out or anxious about something, and I need time out, from my own self sometimes, and I need time by myself, because sometimes we need that. It's nice to go shopping by yourself or have a day out by yourself. These are things we need to reconnect with our own soul. But I really love to go to a coffee shop for just 20, 30 minutes and have a hot chocolate and watch the world go by. And I find that very peaceful and a form of mindful meditation. Because meditation isn't always about falling asleep or being relaxed. It's about being aware of what's going on, but feeling at ease with what's going on and where you are. A lot of people feel very relaxed when they're driving. And obviously I know that you have to be alert when you're driving, but they feel relaxed because a drive calms the soul. That's why people go for Sunday drives or go for a walk. You may be physically active while you're walking around, but your mind is relaxed. And when you're in a relaxed state, you are in the receiving mode. You are receptive to blessings, answers, and power. You may want to include items representing nature, such as feathers, shells, or crystals. So this is saying in your sacred place or your altar, put some crystals on there or something that lifts you up. Like I'm looking at my altar right now, I've got sayings on there that make me feel good. I've got things connected with sunshine, my guardian angel. Obviously, I've got Jesus on there. I've got swans on there, peacocks, things that really lift my vibration up and bring in power. And you can put crystals. You know, George, his altar is his desk where he works. And, you know, you've all seen it if you've seen him. I'm talking about my Divine Masculine Blue Eyes Tarot. If you've seen him doing his readings, you know, you'll see his tables filled with crystals because he connects with, you know, the crystal energy so powerfully. So anything that lifts you up. And it serves as a focal point for prayer and meditation. And over time, it becomes imbued with deeply spiritual energy. And I really feel that, you know, because my magical chest, and that's what I call it, my magical chest, which really is my altar or my dresser, you know, it's got power. You know, whenever I come in, I feel it. And I moved it around as well. When I first moved into this house, I had it in a different place in the room and it didn't feel right. And I knew I had to move it around. Begin making your altar today. If you already have one, tend to it by reviewing the things that it holds. Do you feel guided to remove any of the items or place new ones on it? As you work with your altar, notice the feelings that it awakens in you. Connect with it as you would a dear old friend, and it will serve you loyally each day. Isn't that powerful? And, you know, you may have a painting that you love to look at. You know, when I'm sitting here at this table, this also is a bit of an altar for me. I always feel in my power here, I'm in my higher vibration, I'm out of ego, I'm connecting with you guys and connecting with source, and I'm working on service and it feels good. And I have a gorgeous picture. If I show you, if I lift it up again, see that picture there, that beautiful picture, that picture is really sentimental to me because, you know, I'm really connected with the ocean anyway, being a water sign, and I know I've got Atlantis roots. But there's something about that sun that's shining in that picture that lifts me up. And I remember when I bought that picture, it was years ago, and I was just walking around and I saw it in the window of a charity shop, and it was £1.50. £1.50. And to me, I would have paid £30, £40 for it because it was so powerful. And since I put that picture up, and, you know, I'm going back to my old house where I used to live, I felt powerful. And when I first moved in here, I had that in a different place, and I knew I needed to put it in front because when I'm sitting at the table doing these readings, and then I look up at that picture, it brings me a sense of calm, and it reconnects me with my soul and who I am. So look around your, you know, kind of space today, whether it's at work, your workspace, maybe it's your workspace if you're working from home, or your environment, your living environment, you know, your main place you go to, and what's it like? You know, like for me, for example, you know, our living room is where I spend most of my time because, you know, when I'm not working, because I just feel good in there. And what I've done as well, because I loved my old house, and obviously we moved to this house because it's bigger for, you know, because obviously we wanted to relocate because my mum passed away and, you know, wanted a little bit of a fresh start. But I kind of recreated my old living room in my new living room. So I feel very comfortable and at peace in there. And I spend a lot of my time there. Whereas George has got a room that he uses as an office and a gaming room. You know, he's got his own room upstairs for that as well. And when he's up there, he feels in his own space. And he's got all these things around him, you know, and he feels at peace there. Whereas when I go in that room, sometimes it feels chaotic because to me, it's messy. You know, and I like organised chaos, you could say. As a divine feminine, we like structure, we like everything in its place. So it's about feeling the power and allowing the masculine to enter in their own way. You know, so for example, when me and George are sitting downstairs together, the energy of the room feels different. You know, whereas I appreciate the energy it feels when I'm in there by myself. So remember, you know, other people, even your twin, will affect energies. And it's about being flexible and adaptable. And I've spoke about this before, how, you know, we still get triggered over certain things, even in union, you know, but they're not the things that really matter. It's things like washing up or, you know, moving plates or silly things. Because as a feminine, we need to be more relaxed and at ease. So that's really what I want to share with you today. Wow, nearly 40 minutes today. Very powerful. So the thought for today is make the time to create or tend to your altar today, which is your special place or your special niche for prayer time and contemplation. It's a place where you can let go, expose all of your true feelings to spirit, and honour your divine path. And that's what they want you to know. So let me know in the comments section where your altar is or your sacred place is. And if you feel the same way as me about visiting graves and things like that. Obviously, you know, since my mum's passed away, I do go to the grave at certain times. You know, if my auntie's going, I'll go there at Christmas or, you know, when I feel guided to. But for me, loved ones live inside, just like your twin lives inside of you. And this is what you learn as you come into your inner union, because you realise that the outer union is just an extension of what you already have. I hope this helps. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.